Hi, my name is David Safaris. I'm with Visionary Services in Des Moines, Iowa. Visionary is an IT consulting company focusing on web technology and web design. About 10 years ago, Visionary started collecting art, and we've focused on pop art from the 80s and 90s, up through graffiti and urban art from really countries around the world. So a lot of times I'm asked, why urban art? And really 10 years ago, when we were looking around at art that we could collect for the office, there was so much going on in the world from a social perspective. You had the economic meltdown in 2000, which led then into the terrible events on 9/11, and that led into the Iraq War. And so there was so many things going on literally around the world that artists were starting to express themselves on the sides of buildings and bridges, and really taking that fabric and that canvas of the urban setting and using it as their backdrop for art that had a social message, and also just kind of had this message of a new generation of artists that wanted to be heard. For 2015, Visionary is really excited to be doing an art show at the Des Moines Social Club as part of Art Week Des Moines. The show is called Urban Visionaries and will mix a combination of art from pop art, mostly Keith Haring, up through urban artists such as Bansky, FAILE, Shepard Fairey. And this year, we're really excited to be focusing on two female artists in the urban space, Maya Hayuk and Swoon. So I wanted to talk for just a minute about the art collection and the process of building a collection. Obviously, we didn't just start out one day and suddenly have 100 pieces of artwork in our office here. About 10 years ago, we started buying really poster art, or really art that was $100 to $200, prints from artists that were kind of unheard of at the time. And I think that's something really important for people to think about, is you can find artists that are in a space that you're interested in. There's a lot of information on the internet that you can research and get involved with these artists. And currently one problem is that the headlines that you see in the paper about art really tend to focus on the very high end of the art world. So you hear that Picasso sold a painting sold for $150 million, or a Rothko or something. And that's what gets in people's mind that art is this untouchable thing to collect. And I think that's a real disservice to many of the artists that are really very approachable and also affordable that you could build a collection around. One of my favorite artists from the urban art scene is FAILE, and they're a collaborative out of New York City. And the thing I loved about FAILE when I first ran across their work on the web probably 8 years ago was they're going around New York City and cities really around the world and putting up these really iconic looking images, lots of layering, lots of color, and it had a very unique style to it. It really marked the territory on the buildings and transformed the space that they were putting their artwork. And for me, urban artwork, it really has to do that. We talked a little bit about the space and the time, and for me, the FAILE work really hit both of those. And because of that, I've been collecting FAILE for quite a while, and it's definitely some of my favorite work.